Con. We should be good.
Which one you on? GMS you on?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we live.
Con. Hey, shalom, shalom. Halai la tawab. Knock down with ha'ai bar sha'ala. I will lock him la thumb. Call shabawai ba'al wa kak shaw Yahweh ba'asham Yahweh. Hey, with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh ba'asham Yahweh to preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Necham atham. Kaya hamalak wa tashamayim korab. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Before we get started, we're going to go ahead and say, Call halayim la, Yahweh ba'asham Yahweh ba'asham chakodash. A double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone that told us the truth and rule well. And much respect to you, brothers out there, pushing the truth with our righteousness. And sincerely, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
So we can go ahead and get into it. Pretty much we're going to the term Arsareth, or pretty much by a Baryath, Ahrataza, Ahchaar, which means another land. All right, we're going to go ahead and play that video.
God.
Because pretty much, oh, you got it.
I was just gonna say we're gonna play this video of Christopher Columbus, because that term of Arsareth is mentioned in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, which we're gonna get into, and we're gonna play this clip real quick, just showing you how these devils they knew, and they used the scriptures to pretty much refer to, or to get evidence that, hey, we came over here, that the tribes were over here on this side of the hemisphere, on the western side of the hemisphere. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it real quick. Let me turn up the volume.
Why do you wish to sail west? To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only two ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea. The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite. Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands. And you be so certain? The calculations of Toscanelli, Maradoti, Ezra. Ezra's is a Jew. So what's west? 2 minutes, and already you're a dead man. For telling the truth? Yes. You are burning people for less. The man you're about to confront.
Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala, man. Hey.
Pretty much, you got it.
Oh no, you good, bro. You got it.
No, I'm about to say, pretty much, he referenced the Apocrypha. He saw that Ezra spoke about the 10 tribes, Northern Kingdom, which will be Malakwa Tazapawanya, which is the Northern Kingdom. So yeah, we just wanted to get into that. Could you go ahead and grab that 2nd Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 40?
Con.
We get Deuteronomy.
Let me get that real quick.
Actually, it's a lot. We can start with the article if you wanted to.
Okay, Con. Yeah. And just for a little information on this video, this is from the movie 1492. All right. But let me get that article real quick. The article is from jbuff.com, and this is pretty much a commentary from this Edomite called Dr. Gerhard Falk. And it says, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and his interpreter was a small hat whose name was Louis, and that is true. It says, indeed it is true, Louis de Torres was not the only small hat who sailed with Columbus on the 3rd of August that year. It says Columbus, navigator, and his doctor, who were also small hats, All three and two more small hats underwent formal conversion to Christianity one day before the voyage began, but were nevertheless viewed as small hats. So pretty much, Christopher Columbus, he brought with him 5 Hebrew-speaking small hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had one that was strictly a interpreter, and you can speak into that, Yawam.
If
How
I'm
do you
not
say?
mistaken, was the Torres small hat as well, the
Yeah,
interpreter?
yeah.
Okay, Khan. But pretty much, the guy Torres, he spoke Ba'aramya, Ba'ibaryath, Wa Bayashama'ala, and pretty much Ba'aramya is Aramaic. You know, that's like a derivative of Hebrew, Ibaryath. He also
Hmm.
spoke Arabic, which also it's a derivative of the Lashon Kodash. You know, but it's still
Hmm.
not the pure tongue. But pretty much, yeah, he took an interpreter because he knew that the 10 tribes was over here, the 10 tribes of Yasha'alu. You know, which that pretty much leads us into Second Ezra,
Hmm.
the
Khan,
13th.
Khan. And I just want to read a little bit more.
Khan.
It says, reading down, it says Columbus included the Torres because the Torres spoke Hebrew. Columbus evidently believed or wanted to believe that he would meet Hebrew-speaking Jews on reaching the other side of the world. Columbus believed that he would find the 10 lost tribes of Israel. It says there and hence thought he would need a Hebrew speaker. It said it should be noted that the voyage of Columbus was financed by 2 small hats, Louis de Santa Angelo, and Chancellor of the Royal House of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, and Gabriel Sanchez, Treasurer of Aragon, both conversos, of course. So pretty much, um, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, they sanctioned uh, uh, the voyage, Christopher Columbus' voyage, for him to sail, but it was financed through 2 other small hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but that's pretty much it. You know, hey, right here is pretty much this commentary from this. I believe it's probably a small hat. You know, but this Edomite, he was pretty much saying that Christopher Columbus, he had intentions on finding the 10 lost tribes. That was his intention on coming this side of the world, was to find them, because they knew, as we're going to go into here in Hebrews, I mean not Hebrews, Second Ezra 13, that that's where they went. They went to a Arsareth, right, which we're going to get into right now. I'm gonna
Which
go
one
ahead
you
and
going to?
huh?
I was about to say, which one you go into the term Arsareth, you know, that's pretty much a derivative of Ibarth as well, you know, because the Greek comes from the Hebrew, you know. But
Khan,
Arsareth pretty much means another land.
Khan, Khan,
Ahrataza is land. Uh, Ahchaar is another or other, you know.
Khan. Khan. We're going. So want me to go ahead and go into Second Ezra?
Khan, you grab that.
Khan, Second Ezra 13 and 40, and it reads, um, "Those are the 10 lost tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land."
Mm-hmm.
So pretty,
Ahrataza Ahchaar.
mm-hmm, you got it.
Was that verse 45?
Oh no, that was verse 40.
Oh, yeah, you keep going.
Khan. I just want to make mention, though, these 10 lost tribes is talking about the northern kingdom.
Yeah,
When
it's a
they
lot.
were when they were taken away captive into Assyria, they ended up, departing and leaving. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll say it here in a minute. But it says, verse 41, "But they took this counsel amongst themselves, and they would leave the multitude, Slakia, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt."
Yep, and that's talking about the Western Hemisphere or the Americas.
That's
You know,
right.
because everybody pretty much dwelt in the old world, known as the
Right.
hemisphere, the so-called Eastern Hemisphere.
Khan. Khan. Verse 42. Well, actually, back then they didn't. A lot of the heathen, they didn't know about this continent, these continents over here, this
Mm-hmm.
big land masses on this side. All they
Mm-hmm.
knew was that land that was known, like you said, the known world.
Mm-hmm.
But verse 42 it says that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 43, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Kind of,
And
you
pretty much,
mentioned earlier, pretty much going into the storms and stuff in the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Khan, but pretty much, the Atlantic Ocean, that's where the floods were, man. That's where the hurricanes. That's where you see a lot of the hurricanes. You know what they call hurricane season? That's
Mm-hmm.
where you see a lot of the production of hurricanes being developed. You know, they end up hitting the east coast of the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
But continue. Well, but the Most High had to hold still, had to calm those floods in order for the 10 tribes to cross through that path. Pretty much, they went from what they call it, the Indian Ocean, or from the Euphrates all the way down to the Indian Ocean, then all the way
Mm-hmm.
under
The horn,
Africa.
yeah.
Huh?
You
Yeah,
talking
under
about the Horn
Africa.
of Africa?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They went under, then they came back up, and they crossed the Atlantic Ocean and came on this side of the world, which is gonna say it took them, which I'm gonna read right now. Verse 45, it says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So it took them a whole year and a half to cross that region, to sail from Assyria all the way down to to the Americas. But it says, and that same region is called Arsareth.
Kind of, again, that's the great size way, the Greek way to say another land. All right, pretty much referring to the Americas, and it was given to the Northern Kingdom. All right, but I wanted to touch on some of the land over here.
Mm-hmm.
Or pretty much, I get it. This is Debari Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7, verse 8. No, what verse was it? Verse 20. It says, and of God, that's how you say Gad in the Hebrew. He said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. Could you, Baba Kushak, get the term for enlargeth? Or actually, I can get it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I get it. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 20. Some read again, it says, and of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And that teareth the arm part, going into the different blood packs that, Gad will make with each other. It says, with the crown of the head, referring to that the big war headdress, the war bonnet. All right, but I want to get this term enlargeth. It says, it will read Marchayab, which means enlargeth. Coming from the base word Rahab, it says to be or grow wide, be or grow large, to be widened, be enlarged. It says broad or roomy pasture. All right, pretty much figuratively, that's what it's going into. The land that Gad had over here, going into North America. Speaking of, the United States and Canada, they said this was a priestly realm when you read the book by D. Brown. And then at the same time, going back to this precept, it says, and of Gad, he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. In the book, they mention a point where it says this land was given to Gad, bequeathed by the Great Spirit. So that book knew that it said Great Spirit in all caps too. So it's talking about the Most High. The Lord gave them this land, the United States and Canada. You know?
Con. And and whenever Christopher Columbus, also want to make mention of this. Another way that we know that Christopher Columbus knew that the tribes were here, or their purpose of coming over here, is because back in those days, whenever King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, whenever they came on the scene, they were fighting against the Moors. That's the reason. That's how they came into power. And at that time period of let me get that real quick. In 1492, whenever Christopher Columbus sailed, that was on August 3rd of 1492. right? That's when he left and took on that voyage over here to the Americas. But in that same year, earlier that year, in January 3rd of 1942, the last Moorish king was dethroned in Spain,
Mm-hmm.
right? King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, they ended up dethroning. His name was Muhammad the 12th, also known as El Chico. That's what they called him. But pretty much, they took him down in January 2nd of around January 2nd, 1492, and the same year they sanctioned the voyage for Christopher Columbus to sail over here and take down the rest of the tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Not to veer off topic, but to land back off you, pretty much, like you said, the Moors was being dethroned, but
Mm-hmm.
around that time, pretty much, they was being expelled out of Spain too, out of Spain and Portugal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. They were a lot of them were getting pushed into Morocco as well,
Mm-hmm.
the northern part of Africa.
Yep. Con.
But I also wanted to get another point. If you you got something, bro?
Nah, you want me to get that what was that? Second Kings or First Kings 9 and
Uh,
26?
yeah. First Kings 9 and start at 26. Baba Kusha.
Con.
Yeah, because we're gonna get into how we knew of this land even back then during the time of King Solomon. Right, this thing was not new to us.
This is Ahad Malakim, also First Kings chapter 9 and verse 26. It says, and King Shalamah made a navy of ships in Izayan Gabar, which is beside Elath on the shore of the Red Sea in the land of Edom.
Mm-hmm.
And Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, with the servants of Shalamah.
Right. So Hiram, he was pretty much a Hamite, and his servants, they were all Hamites, and these are men who knew how to navigate the seas. But King Solomon, he ended up giving him orders to go, or he hired him to go and on this side of the world. That's the reason why when you go to like Costa Rica or a lot of the east coast of South America, you'll see a lot of these what they call Olmec Heads. Because what Ham would do, he would travel around over here on this side, and then he'll put landmarks to show where they were at, and that's what they'll put with these big Hamitic heads, which eventually were called Olmec Heads.
Yeah.
Right. Let me pull one up real quick.
Okay.
Because this to show you that that the scriptures are true. Because a lot of people don't know where these came from, but hey, through the scriptures, we're able to identify what they are.
Okay. And they were like huge, where you can see them from the sea, right?
Yeah, they're pretty big. They're the same thing as the Eastern Island heads. You know how Ham will carve out the Eastern Island heads, big, tall, long heads.
Yeah.
This is the same things he did back then.
Con. Showing you that the people still here.
Yeah.
Everybody pretty much got the same spirit.
Right.
And that's how it's undeniable that we the people.
That's right.
I'm gonna get that real fast. Did you finish this out, or you want me to finish it out?
You can get your point.
Con.
I got it right here.
Con.
I'm gonna read this again.
I'm gonna get 2.
All right, Con.
This is Romans 8 and verse 16. It says, and the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right, so the Spirit, our spirit resonates with the Scriptures. All right, as well as our spirit, us ourselves, we can see that we are the people of the Scriptures.
That's right.
That's this is evidence. The Scriptures is evidence that we are the children of the Lord.
That's right.
Get another one. What's the one that talks about? I think it's Ecclesiastes 4 and 16. It's Quahalath, also Ecclesiastes chapter 4 in verse 16. It says, "There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after them shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit." So pretty much the point. There is no end of all the people, and everybody has the same spirit, you know. Uh, the Israelites, Ham, Esau, he's still deceiving, he's still wicked, Moab, still nasty as hell, Everybody got the same spirit.
Hey, I got another one to back you up, just real quick. This is Revelation 22:11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, now who are the holy people? Right? The nation of Yasha'Allah. Right? It says, he that is holy, let him be holy still.
Yep.
Right? So, hey, the Israelites are the spirit of Israelites is going to pertain to the Israelites. The spirit of a Hamite is going to pertain to the Hamites. And that's how it is.
I got another one, bro.
God.
This is should be Deuteronomy. Salat, give me a second. Oh no, Exodus. This is Shamwath, chapter 11. Also Exodus, verse 11 and verse 7. It says, "But against any of the children of Yasha'Allah, Banyim Shal Yasha'Allah, shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord hath put, that the Lord doeth put a difference between Egyptians and Yasha'Allah." So pretty much it's a difference. We can see in the spirits of the people, who is who. We can see that we're not Hamites, man. They put their heads under like cows. They sniff cows' asses. Like they do just nasty stuff, man. We don't do none of that. Jake just be chilling.
Con.
Man.
So nasty. Ham is a nasty motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
God damn. Con. But I'm gonna continue on that First Kings though.
Con.
This is 1 Kings 9 and verse 28, and it says, "And they came to Ophir, and fetched thence gold, 420 talents, and brought it to King Solomon." So what Hiram did, he was like, pretty much what he did is that he was sent out to go get goods, go get wood, go get gold, certain spices, animals, and he brought them over to King Solomon. And that's how King Solomon was able to, actually, we'll get into it. We'll get into it here in 1 Kings 10 and 21. I'm gonna get that real quick. It says, I didn't want to jump the gun, but it says, "And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon." So imagine that, man. Having your cups, your plates, your forks, your spoons, your knives, everything made out of gold. Man, that's how rich King Solomon was, man. That's how much gold and wealth he had. He sent ships over here to this side of the world to fetch him. It said, what was 400 up to it says 420 talents of gold was brought to King Solomon, and this happened every 3 years. And in fact, it's gonna go into it. Verse 22, 1 Kings 10 and 22. It says, "For the kings had at sea a navy of Tarshish with a navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish." Now it says once in 3 years. And we just read in Second Ezra, in the 45th chapter, how it took the nation of Israel, or the northern tribe, the northern kingdom of the nation of Israel, a year and a half to travel from that part of the world all the way to the Americas, what's currently known as the Americas. But when you read into this, it shows you it took them three whole years to go there and then come back. So the timing is accurate, man.
So pretty much was going from Tharashiash, Spain, to Ophir, back to Tharashiash, Tarshish.
Yeah, Khan.
3 years. A year
3
and a
whole
half.
years. Khan.
Pretty much lining up with that second Ezra 13.
Right. But it says, continuing on, it says, once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks. So that's what they brought, man. They brought all sorts of goods, all sorts of exotic animals and things, right? But verse 23, it says, so King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. That's pretty much it on that, on as far as that point. So that shows you right there that we knew the nation of Israel. We had all the wisdom, man. We had knowledge of the stars. We had knowledge of the earth and how it was and how it works, right? Now back then, the heathen, they didn't know. They were thinking that the earth was flat. They were thinking that it was only, the known world. That was all the land masses that was there. But us, we had the wisdom. We knew there was another land over here. That's the reason why the 10 tribes, they traveled over here on this side.
I had a precept.
Khan.
It's proving that point. It says, I'm gonna start from verse 21. This is Yeshaya, also Isaiah 40 and 21. It says, have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Hath it not been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. You go into this word circle, it says chawag, which means circle, circuit, compass, vault of the heavens. It says a circle. You go into the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, says chawag, which is a masculine noun, a circle, a sphere, used of the arch or vault of the sky of the world. So pretty much the earth is a globe. It's a sphere. Like a lot of times, like you said, people like to debate that flat earth, to where like you falling off the corners and into space.
Right. Khan.
But no, that proves that.
Khan. And I want to go into real quick. I'm gonna go Deuteronomy. Actually, before I get that, I want to get you know what? I'm gonna get Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. So that Egypt that is speaking about here is speaking about the house of bondage, right? Which inevitably is America to this day, because this is where the nation of Israel, all the nation of Israel, was pretty much held captive, right? Because when Christopher Columbus came over here, landed on the soils of what was it, Haiti? Yeah, he landed in Haiti. He put the Tainos into slavery, put them to work, and if they didn't produce a certain amount of production in gold, he would be chopping up fingers, hands, noses, ears, even to little kids.
Can I add to that point?
Go ahead.
Yeah, when you read about him, he said he couldn't keep his sword back from blood, and pretty much he said it also proves that Yasha'Allah was over here, because when you go into the Tainos, which that's broken Ibarioth, broken Hebrew for good people. You got the it will be Tawab Aim. Aim is people, and Tawab means good. You get the T-A, Ta, from the Tawab, and then the Ain, I-N, from Ain, which means people. Tawab Ain, good people. And they was already over here.
Yeah.
I want to get that for you. Speaking on Egypt, this is Shamwat, also Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. It says, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee up, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All right, because you made a point mentioning that America was that house of bondage. Now, tying it into the lesson, Arsareth, Ahrataza, Ahchaar, another land, the 10 tribes is over here, you see, but meanwhile, you had Judah, Benjamin, and some parts of Levi in the Holy Land. That's why Deuteronomy 33 and I think it was verse 8, verse 7. I'm gonna read it again. because the scriptures go into, I think it's in Jeremiah somewhere, it talks about how the nation was pretty much in captivity together, referring to Egypt,
Right,
which you got that
right.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Con, that's Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Con, yeah, I'm gonna get that as well. This is
Con.
Deuteronomy 33 and verse 7. It says, and this is the blessing of Yahweh thanks. And he said, hear Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Lord, the voice of Yahweh, and bring him unto his people, because again, Yahweh Banyamyan and small portions of Levi, lawyer, were still in the Holy Land. It says, let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou in help to him from his enemies. So pretty much, the southern kingdom was brought over here. What's the priest? It's a precept in Isaiah as well. It talks about the pretty much a ball coming up here in the ball, like tossing on the ships and stuff.
Oh, con. Oh, let me see.
Because that's pretty much what took place by the rock en route to Ahrataza, Ahchaar, another land, Arsareth. Let me get. You said it was Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Con. I got the Isaiah 22 and 18.
Con, you grab that.
Con, I'm gonna read it real quick. It says, "He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country."
Mm-hmm.
It says, "There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house."
Con, so pretty much referring to when the southern kingdom came over here.
Right.
Could you run it back, the latter part?
Yeah. Isaiah 22 and 18. It says, "He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country."
On them boats, on them ships, the so-called good ship Jesus,
Yeah, they were packed in there like sardines.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at the layout of those cargo slave ships, man, they were packed in there. Like they were so packed in there that disease started forming to the point where they would have to, dump bodies off because a lot of Jake were dying.
Con.
But let me get this real quick. Just speaking about our Northern Kingdom as well. This is Jeremiah. Huh?
Could you finish it out?
Oh yeah, con.
I'm trying to see. Yeah.
Con. Isaiah 22 and 18. It says, "He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country.
Mm-hmm.
There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house."
Con said, into a large country, talking about the Americas. All right, pretty much, and then that's where the curses really took hold to us.
Right.
We served that hard bondage mentioned in Shamwath, Exodus 20 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm. Con, and that's that place that was prepared for us. I believe it says it in Revelation. That place that was prepared for us that would let me see. I'm
gonna get this while you finding that, if you don't mind.
Con, yeah, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah of hosts, Banyam Shayasha'ala, children of Yasha'ala, and the children of Yahweh that were oppressed together." All right, so the northern kingdom, Israel, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And so pretty much we were held captive together, lining up, because it pretty much, played out through the spirit, because northern kingdom came over here in second Ezra 13, and then southern kingdom came over here, Deuteronomy 33 and verse 7. We were oppressed together, in this present moment.
Con, exactly. Well, I want to get this point real quick. This is Revelation 12 and 6. It says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness." Now we know that woman speaking about the nation of Israel, and the wilderness speaking about anywhere that is not pertaining to the land of Israel. We're pretty much kicked out of the land of Israel, and we ended up dwelling in these other lands, strange lands, right? But it says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness, which she hath a place prepared of the Most High. And that place prepared is talking about America. And we're going to go into it here in a minute. It says that they should feed her there 1,203 score days. Now, this 1,203 score days is going back to the 3.5 years, 3.5 days. Is referred to the same thing, because when you look at the days, when you look at 1,203 score days, which is 1,260 days, that's the same amount as 3.5 years, 3.5 years, right? So
What's
when
that?
you go into the, huh?
My bad. You finish your point.
And when you go into that, it's the same thing as a time and dividing of times. It's spoken about in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, as well as the 3.5 days. This is all the same time period where our people will be in its most oppressed state, and also in a dead state of mind here in the land of America.
I was gonna line back off you pretty much going into you said the 350 years referring to from 1619 to around 1960s to the 1970s when Abba Bivens, Elder Apostle Abba Bivens, came on the scene.
That's right. Con. I want to go back to that Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it says, "And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." So now we clarified what Egypt is, which is talking about here, spiritually talking about America. Baba Kushai, can you get Revelation 11, I believe is verse 8?
I got you.
Just to further clarify that point.
This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Martezamium, where also our Lord was crucified."
Right. So that's where our people pretty much were these as spoken of in in Ezekiel 37, them dry bones. We were in that dead state of mind. And it says Sodom and Egypt, because what is carried on here? What kind of practices do they practice here? They practice sodomy, right? And also this is the land where our people were taken in captivity, put into that hard bondage, right? And also it says our Lord was crucified. So pretty much they X'd out, they pretty much canceled out our Lord. They changed his face. They made him as this effeminate, long-haired, leprous man, right? Like that's a form of crucifying him, of marking him out. But going back to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says, "And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." So this is exactly what happened to our people. Not just Southern Kingdom, but also Northern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom also went through slavery, as we mentioned with Christopher Columbus, as well as when the Spaniards arrived over here in Mexico and Peru and a lot of these other areas. And then you had the Portuguese. They went down to Brazil, did the same thing, and then eventually you had what they call the Pilgrims, they were all Edomites that pretty much did all this, man, all these atrocities to our people. The Pilgrims came in and they destroyed Gad. Salakia, you were gonna say something?
No, finish your point.
I'm done. Okay, come. But pretty much, and it says right here, it says, "Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." Now, who were the people that were sold unto their enemies? Who were the people that were made to be slaves? There was none other than Northern and Southern Kingdom. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. These are the people that suffered these curses, these atrocities. Deuteronomy chapter 28 fits Jake to the T. There ain't no doubt about it. But it says, "And no man shall buy you," meaning no man shall redeem you, right? That of course we were sold back and forth, but this is talking about us being able to be truly be free, be sovereign. That will never happen until Yahweh Shah, our Lord Yahweh Shah, comes and redeems us.
Can I get that precept for you? You mentioned something about the you said the Northern Kingdom. Some of the Northern Kingdom was pretty much in slavery or enslaved.
Come on, you got it, bro.
This is Arsareth, also Genesis chapter 49 and verse 14. It says, Ahchaar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to tribute, and became Salah. And he bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Pretty much going to yeah, you got it.
Okay, come. I was gonna say, yeah, you know, pretty much Issachar was conquered by the Spaniards. They were pretty much made the workforce under Esau. They paid taxes. They paid their taxes. They had a like it says right there, they became servants. That even to this day, you see them to this day, man, just destroyed. The country is pretty much just completely done. They always need to pay tribute unto Esau. These leaders that Mexico has, when you really look into it, these leaders that Mexico has, they all lead back to Esau. They're all lineage of Edomites, showing you that they still serve Spain. They still serve Esau.
A lot of times, like if Esau needs something done and he can't really figure out how to do it, you know, he'd hire Issachar, you know, for cheap labor, because he know Issachar can get the job done, you know, because that's in their spirit, you know.
Right. They're just natural hard workers. But Esau gives the jobs that they don't want, the hard labor, like you may mention, the hard work, the hard jobs unto Issachar. Ultimately, because they got no other choice too.
Yep.
You know, they come up from the border up here to try to find a better life, because over there in Mexico, you know what's going on with the cartel. Everything is fucked over there. So they have to come over here to try to find a better life, and only thing they can get is these low paying, hard working jobs.
The curses.
God.
Did you have anything else, bro?
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all.
Hey, so Ahrataza Zabanaya Palo is with us, a beautiful edification through the spirit. Go ahead, close it out by saying, hey, double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone that told us the truth and rule well. And much respect to you, brothers, that push the truth with our righteousness. And say, Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.